So to kind of see some real world examples of what we've learned, I've brought in some stringed instruments examples here. We've got a rhythm guitar, we've got a distorted guitar, and also electric bass. We'll just start off with the rhythm guitar here, and just like we've done before, we'll bring in a compressor. And what we'll do is just leave this at its default values and actually listen to, let me just bypass that, and we'll listen to what we've got. I need to solo it, right? There you go. So here's the very first one. So you can see some of the peaks are up here, but the average level is down about here. Perfect for a compressor. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to ramp up the ratio a little bit, bring down the threshold a bit, and we'll probably need to bring up the gain. Now you'll notice that I've got a big amount of gain reduction there, but a lot of those peaks are coming through. That is because this attack is relatively slow. Check out what happens with the same threshold, same ratio, and same gain when I start to speed up this attack. Like, so for example, we're trying to really reduce the difference between the attacks, or the peaks, and the average level of the guitar. And I don't think we're doing it yet. Check it out. Start messing with the attack and go to the extreme, and voila. The whole signal is completely mashed, so that you don't want that, right? What you need to do is start bringing up that attack until you start hearing some of that initial transient attack on the guitar. So on a rhythm guitar, that pick noise, that initial transient that just sounds sweet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with very, very quick, and I'm going to start opening that up until you kind of ascertain when it starts getting that pleasing transient attack is allowed through before it starts clamping down to this ratio. Okay, let's have a listen. I'll just keep quiet. Do you hear that it happens around 4 milliseconds, something like that? Then what starts happening is that with this threshold is always being reached no matter what you set the attack and release to. What the attack is doing is saying, look, I know the threshold has been reached, but let me just hang around for a little while for 4.3 milliseconds, which is 4 thousandths of a second. It's a very short time, but as you can see, just the difference between that and then we go back into these microseconds, boy, it's a big difference. If you just wait just a few milliseconds, around 4 or 5 milliseconds, then what happens is that those initial picks, those initial transients, do get through unscathed, and you'll actually see that over here in the LED ladder. Check out what happens when we basically crush the signal straight off the bat. You'll see the levels right down here. But as I increase the attack, you'll see the levels increase here because those transients make their way through. So your job always, by the way, this threshold is way too low. I would set it down to here. So that was an example just to kind of give you an idea of an exaggerated idea, so that you could actually hear these changes. Let's go to more of a real world example of typical for a rhythm guitar. Typically want to put it around 4 to 1, and adjust that threshold, and then let's play around with that. Too fast, it's mashing it. Too slow, the peaks are getting way too much through. So just mess around with that. So you kind of get the idea of what's going on with the attack. Whenever I explain things, I always, I don't normally say this is the setting you need. I show you the two extremes, the benefits of both, and the downfalls of both. The benefit of a really fast attack time is that everything will get mashed and you'll get a uber compressed sound. The downside of that, of course, is that it just takes all the life out of it. There's no presence. It'll start to sound getting quite dull because those transients are really the things that normally cut through the mix. But if you leave it wide open with the attack very slow, then all of those attacks will get through, and they're really the things you're trying to compress. So you've really got to kind of mess around, and I normally take it too fast and then inch up from that until you start getting the pleasing sound of those attack transients, but not too much where they kind of get through too much, and then you start peaking into the red right there. I played this bass as an example of what can happen over time within a particular bass track within a song. So you can see that right at the beginning here, I think I have the soloed right, yep. So that's just fingered bass. So there's a few little peaks in there. There's a little peak coming up here. But certainly something happens over here, and let's have a listen. So obviously when you start slapping a bass, you start getting a hotter signal, but the hottest part of that signal is the initial transient, right? I mean, right at the beginning of a slap bass sound, that's really what's going on. So let's see how we can affect this guy. So dynamics, again, we'll bring up our trusty compressor. And what we want to do is kind of average out this track so it's not so quiet, because if you set up the levels right here at the beginning of the song and then it got in this slap part, then it would be a lot it would be too loud, and it would obviously overwhelm the mix and you could get distortion, things like that. In a situation like this, I also wouldn't just lean on compressors completely, because if it happens in a certain part of the song, then don't forget you have the old-fashioned, you should have a fader that you can just pull down, and if you're in a DAW, you can quite often automate that as well. So in a particular part of the song, you can just pull down that fader at that particular part. So anyway, let's just kind of have a look at what we might be able to do with this song. Let me actually zoom out. So yeah, so now we can kind of see everything. So right at the beginning of the song, we have a little bit of reduction here. That's good. What about here? So that's living pretty well right there. Again, you make that attack really fast, and you've just lost the sweetness of that initial transient. So I'm assuming it's probably going to be around that 5 or 6 milliseconds. So that seems to be a good place for most guitars, either bass guitar or a rhythm guitar, is that if you can set that so that it can just let just a first little part in. If you set a ton of it through, then those peaks will overwhelm everything else. But if you set it too low, I feel like I've just hammered this point, maybe a little bit too much, but that's really kind of the sweet spot. And you need to work it out depending on, it'll be different on nylon string guitars, steel string guitars, if you're finger picking versus if you're, playing with a a pick, or like I said, thumb slapping here with a guitar. Big changes that you can only really find by just dialing around this attack time. Let's do another example with a electric guitar, just playing basically single notes. Let's listen to this. I've got the compressor bypassed. So you can see how that sustained note, falls away right about here. Now, this is a little misleading because a distorted guitar will naturally be compressed. The very nature of distortion is that the circuit is being overloaded so much it just can't soak up any more input at all. So it tends to have kind of a natural compression here. But this will just, for this example, you can see how that really drops away. And so what we can do is by placing a compressor on there, we can, in essence, kind of ramp up some of this part, particularly if we just bring up the makeup gain. So let's check this out. So that works out well, particularly if you want to tighten up that attack so that those initial peaks will just get clamped down, and then this will really, really get squashed. Because I speeded up that attack, I'll probably have to bump up the makeup gain here, and let's have a listen. So you can see with that fast attack, the note, even though here on the graph we can see that note really dies away. You have a look at it over here. It really doesn't have a lot of variance there. That's because we've had a very fast attack.